Test, 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 test. And bring out the Facebook message. Okay, I guess I'm ready to go.
All right, it's the Sini-Gang hitting ya on this internet thingy. This is El Boogie.
This is Sterno Supernova.
So what's going on, Sterno Supernova?
It's been a nice weekend, enjoying the good weather in our area. I actually have some family stuff, so I get to enjoy the company of, some cousins and some of the next generation of my family. Play a little outdoor. We actually play kickball and I guess some sort of form of ultimate frisbee. Just frisbee anyway. Not ultimate frisbee. I never played that. But yeah, had a good time. So this has been a really fun weekend for me. How about you?
It's all good.
All good?
Let's see. What are we going to talk about today? Do you have anything?
Nothing specific comes to mind. I mean...
I went to this not random. I went to this, I've been doing these training things at work. I told you about this.
Which one? The management one?
Yeah, it's like some training stuff.
Or the ethics ones?
Yeah, that was it. The same thing.
Oh, the same thing?
Yeah, same thing. Well, yeah, a couple of sessions ago, the thing was about ethics, which we'll go into later. But this time, this past meeting or little session we had was.
This is live. This is an online. This is actual seeing other people.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I've been doing these things in front of people. I've been going to a room. All of us gather together.
I have a different.
We have group activities.
For my work, most of the training that I do is online.
Oh no.
Or via conference call.
Oh no. This ain't no online training.
You're actually in front of living, breathing people.
Yes. That's a totally different thing.
It is a total. I had the wrong image of what's going on.
I told you I've been taking training sessions with people. You assume that we are all online.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean,
no,
okay.
They gather us in a room. They keep us there for 4 hours.
4 hours? Crap. Are you getting paid for those 4 hours? Is that like is that your own time kind of deal?
I'm supposed to be getting paid. There's a little thingy that.
Okay, well.
I'm not gonna get into.
Okay, so I'll cause you to digress.
I'm actually doing it on my own accord. Let's just say that.
All right.
But so this time we all got together for our thing, and the topic was giving presentations. Being being able to give presentations, and she sort of our instructor, advisor, whatever. She basically sprang up this exercise that we just had to get up in front of everybody and talk for 2 minutes straight about anything. And it's weird because I do a podcast. I talk for 2 minutes straight about nothing.
That's
basically,
not the same thing.
It's not.
I can do this for hours if I wanted to.
Yeah, it's so funny. When I got there, I'm like, crap. I had nothing to talk about for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I had nothing. I don't know what to say. I was like, man, maybe I could talk about basketball. And I was like, I'm just gonna be talking about. I'm going to give a sports report for 2 minutes. And the people in this little training thing, there's like maybe 2 guys that maybe watch sports.
Oh.
So I was like, what do I talk about? I mean, let me spring it on you. If you had to talk 2 minutes right now
about anything?
Yeah, in front of a crowd, in front of a public speaking thing. Basically, they said, hey, get up there and talk for 2 minutes. And usually you want to do something that you know pretty well.
Yeah, I could have talked
about. That's the easiest way to do it. So if I said, hey, Sterno, give me 2 minutes right now of something, I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I guess I would just jump into like the most recent thing I was reading about, which is like the renaissance of comic book movies and how in the past there have been really crappy comic book movies and how it's come a long way. So that I just happened to catch me after I read this whole thing about comic book movies that that like the first Captain America movie that no one saw that went straight to video. That kind of stuff.
I saw it.
You saw that?
Yes.
I saw bits and pieces.
I've seen it. I've seen Spider-Man, the old Spider-Man. Those were my favorite. I used to watch them like on Sunday afternoons.
Those were like the staple back in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
right? So that's fine. But I mean, like, see how easy it is for me to talk about that?
Exactly. But the thing is, like I said, this is a work thing. We're at work. There's a lot of women and older people.
But I mean, she gave you a
I know. That's the thing.
Blanche.
Yeah, I know. And if I'm just coming off watching X-Men, and I did just read a comic book. I mean, I could go into this comic book rant, but I'm also trying to look professional in front of these people. If I went into a comic book rant, I'm like, man, that's why I didn't do the basketball thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a little more, I guess, acceptable in the workplace to be talking about sports than it is to be talking about comic books.
Right.
But I mean, it was in the back burner to talk about movies and comics.
I mean, yeah. That's my fallback topic. If I have nothing, I talk about comic books, sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because I know that.
But this is a work thing. So.
Well, you can actually say how sci-fi is an inspirational thing that brought people into the, into different areas. It caused the advancement of technology over the course of time. And
I would like to break down the X-Men movie. I almost did that.
Oh.
I was like, yo, none of these. Well, actually, there's one guy in there. He actually has a podcast himself, and it's a nerdy podcast, and he reads comic books and everything. I've never told him. I've never talked to him about comics because I don't want to get into a comic book geeky conversation with the dude.
Yeah,
but
I know exactly. I have people like that in my life too.
And you don't want to let them know that you're into the same thing.
They're like a bear trap. You don't want to spring that trap, or you don't want to cause that. Be the initiator of the avalanche of discussion that maybe you don't want to be part of. But
I know. One day, I might get stuck with the dude, and I'm like, yo, I read comics too. And then all of a sudden, we're best friends. But I'm not ready for that.
Off topic slightly. I played some poker on Friday night, and we were all like, before the game we were just making chit chat, and someone goes, hey, did you see the X-Men movie? And I'm like, yeah. And before I could say something, this girl goes, I hated it. And I liked that girl before. I mean, the person, and she like dropped a couple notches different, like immediately from that was a horrible movie, and I'm like, okay, just like how my image just dropped because of her one critique of one movie. I mean, I don't know. It was just strange to me.
It's funny because a pretty girl asked me the other day what I thought of the movie, and I said it was all right. It wasn't the greatest. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I thought it was the greatest." And I was like, "Uh-oh, did I just drop a couple notches in her mind?"
The opposite. It's a mirror thing.
But the thing is, she actually, I don't want to sound cocky, but she values my opinion on these things, and and I broke down why I was a little upset about some of the things in the movie about. Changes in the movie.
Digressing a little bit more. You know how we were talking just a second ago about this guy that's a vendor at the Asian Fest that happened this weekend. Okay. Yeah, and we actually your name came up and we're like, yeah, I don't know, but I think El Boogie knows. And I'm like, yeah, and I'll probably ask El Boogie. We always ask El Boogie stuff. I'm like, we all basically work off his opinion. Like how you're pretty much like our Google. That's one of the things that came up. Because you happen to be the guy in the know. I just felt like...
You know why?
Why?
Because I Google things. And it's so funny that we're saying this, because this guy that I'm just talking about at this work thing,
yeah.
You know what he talked about for 2 minutes?
No.
Well, his job at work is to help fix computers. So he got up in front of the crowd, and he explained how he fixes computers. He says he Googles everything. And he's like, if half of these people knew how to Google, they wouldn't have to call me and all this. And he says, yeah, I have a problem. And then as they're explaining the problem, he's Googling exactly what they're saying. And then he hits enter, the answer pops up, and he just reads back to the people. Gosh. This is what you need to do. That's what he talked about for 2 minutes. That was so funny. But I was stuck. So I'm
for a topic for your management course.
Yeah. So we're talking. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do basketball. I'm like, no. Let me see in a little, because a lot of these people, I mean, we were going at random.
Yeah.
And if I went first, it would have been a talk about basketball. But more and more people were going, and you have no idea when you're going to go.
Right.
And all these people are doing, like, important things. Like, this person was talking about her father's Alzheimer and
What?
Exactly.
What? That's
And then another person was talking about.
and you got no choice as to when you were in the order. You couldn't just
No,
volunteer.
it was random. It was pretty random. I wanted to volunteer because I wanted to get over with. Because really, I'm not afraid of public speaking.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of waiting. Well, I get the. It's the anticipating of getting up there.
I think I do what a lot of people do. I don't want to be the first one, but I don't want to be the last one. I try to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
In the comfortable middle. You know.
Yeah, I was near I was like fourth to last.
Yeah.
Out of a group of 25 people,
which
I sat there forever.
That sucks.
But yeah, the two people were talking about cool things and important things, and I mean, some people talk about their families, which was sort of
lame.
I'm not saying lame, but it wasn't exactly earth-shattering, inspiring speeches.
Okay.
But so I broke into a whole. So it was my turn. I go up there and talk about the Filipino community of Hampton Roads, which none of them really know about because I'm the only Filipino dude in this session. So I can make up facts. I mean, I didn't make up facts, but I don't want to say I lied.
You embellished? Is that better?
No, the facts were all right. I said, there's like 40,000 people in this area.
So where did
they all come from the Navy, sort of thing.
Yeah. So where's the?
I talked about like the stuff I do for the community.
I take a leadership role, and I've actually helped.
Now you know where the embellishment comes from.
I was wondering, like, you actually have done stuff in the community.
Yeah, I know.
You're just not I don't know how to put it. You're not like you've never been a major leader that like. I mean,
well, in these people's eyes, I am now.
They're gonna be. Do you know El Boogie? He's like big in your community among your people.
So, yeah, basically for 2 minutes I was talking about stuff I could be doing, but I was like, yeah, I did this. Yeah, we helped raise money and we, get the teams together. I helped put a show together. July 4th, we've got this thing coming up, bringing people together.
You know how many times you've been interviewed for stuff like that, too? For the non-knower, the people that are not in the know, you're like the man in the community.
The thing is, it was easy for me to talk for 2 minutes. I could have went for another 5 minutes. And people were impressed. I mean, they were impressed.
That El Boogie's go-getter. We got to get him higher up in the company.
Exactly.
Nice.
Just want you to know that I'm using the Filipino community to my advantage. By
I have no problem with that. I mean, shoot, do what you got to do. No one's gonna call you on it. Or they're gonna research somebody. They're gonna talk to certain people and they're gonna say, "Oh no, I don't know this guy." No, you're fine.
I mean, I threw in a couple personal stories. I mean, this is a lot in 2 minutes too. I was like a kid, English was not spoken in the house, stuff like that. Stuff you guys have already heard. I was trying to think of stories I talk on the podcast about, but I can't remember anything. And a lot of them are sort of nasty sometimes.
Yeah, I remember
or not
that.
Nasty, but on not on the side of stuff I should be talking about at work.
Yeah. So it came across well, and you looked. It helped to elevate you.
I got to do another one though.
Okay.
I got to do a 5-minute speech this time, and this one I have to prepare for.
Oh. So,
I have no idea what I'm gonna do.
Oh, so again, it's an open topic.
Yeah, I mean they said you can keep going on what you did last time, which I could, but
yeah, you said you can go another 5 minutes after you. That's what you even said just now.
But I want to do something I'm not embellishing on, or I don't know. That again. I'll use that. I'll keep that in my back pocket. I'll talk more about the Filipino.
Talk about the podcast.
No, I don't want people to know I do this. I don't want them.
That's right.
I don't want people at work logging on.
Oh yeah.
They all think of me as this quiet, brilliant.
Brilliant.
They think I'm a smart guy.
Yeah, listen to the podcast. That would change slightly.
I mean, I don't tell anyone, but so I'm trying to. I mean, I could keep talking about the Filipino community. It's easy, but it would be fun to do something that I can teach people about, or I don't know. I mean, do you have anything that let's say you would just to speak? I mean, let's say you did this at your work.
Right.
At your work, let's say you have to do a speech in front of a presentation in front of 30 people
Okay.
about anything.
Um,
I mean, would you still do movies and comics and all that in
it
front
depends
of?
on the audience.
It's your audience, the people at your work.
Yeah, if
Let's pick,
if it's higher up there, no, probably not.
yeah, let's add some bosses in there.
If you put bosses in there, no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and you want to give a speech in front of them.
I mean, actually, that topic you did about the Filipino community would work with me.
Yeah, I know.
That one would be.
That's
that
an
would
easy one that makes you look good.
Yeah, that would be gold for me.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere too.
I don't know what else would be that impressive in my, I mean, I'm not afraid about the podcast, honestly. I could actually talk about the podcast because I don't care. Honestly, I don't, for some reason I don't have that worry that people might look at me differently because most of the people I don't even see it on a regular basis anymore. Because I work from home most of the day, most of the week, so it's not I'm not worried. So I could do the podcast or I could do this. I mean, or the community. I mean.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna think about it. I got 4 days to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Filipino community stuff, I can not even prepare. I don't have to write anything down.
Yeah.
I just go up there talk. I would like.
But if
something.
you do prepare, it'll be even better. It'll be polished. It'll be impactful. You could bring out powerful anecdotes that'll support your whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I listened to this other podcast. You've heard me listen to it called.
You've heard me listen. Yeah.
What was it? How Stuff Works.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Stuff that you should know.
The one where we learned about the history of cannabis and weed.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was just one episode.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick. What I want to get it proper, the name proper. Stuff you should know.
That's
and
but who are the people that are involved with that one?
Josh and I forgot the other guy's name.
Oh.
But like the subject, basically what they do is they find a topic every. I think they do this twice a week. They find a topic, they research it, and they talk about it for an hour. Let's see. This week's topics are archaeology.
Archaeology.
The podcast title's Archaeology in a Nutshell.
That's a really big nutshell.
How avalanches work. This one was a good one. 8 reasons why your body is so gross. That was a good one.
Did we listen to that one?
I did.
Oh,
No, you didn't listen to that one.
Okay.
I think I might have spoken to you about it. Well, they did another one about halitosis. I know I told you about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said, yo, you should listen to this one. It's about halitosis.
Nice.
But basically what they do is they find a topic, they research it, they basically write a paper, and they talk about it on the podcast.
The one time we were driving around with Ghostface and you were listening to the one about what your farts are and all that stuff. Is it the same people?
That one's actually a different one.
Oh, okay.
That's a different one.
Oh, okay.
In fact, this one, the 8 reasons why your body is so gross, they do talk about gas.
Flatulence.
Yeah. And they had a little differing opinion from the other podcast that we listened to about the gas thing.
Silent but deadly?
No, they didn't talk about that. They talked more about the the question that we listened to was like, why some were stinkier than others.
And why is it?
And
don't mess you up as much as.
That one I had no clue about, or they didn't go into that. But they were talking about like where the farts come from.
Where the farts
like
come
some
from?
Because they can come like differing air pressures cause you to fart. Like when you're going up in an airplane, a lot of people fart because of air pressure. Basically, the pressure, obviously.
External pressure.
Pushing into your body, and then you got to get out.
Yeah.
The gas got to get out.
Right.
But the thing is, you're thinking, man, that's like the worst place to fart on an airplane because you're in an enclosed space with 200 other people.
Yeah.
But that fart is less stinkier than like certain food farts or something. Okay. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it because that's their podcast. Listen to that stuff you should know. But like I said, they find a topic and they research it for a couple days and they come back and they do a whole podcast, an hour's worth of podcasts, and they seem like experts on this stuff.
They sounded like experts. The one I listened to.
Yeah, and all they do is just find a couple papers online and then and break it down. They basically do a book report.
Yeah.
Every episode.
When I heard that one episode, I was like, man, these guys really into weed.
Because you've only heard one episode. They do something different every time.
I was like, damn, he's been listening to this podcast about weed all the time.
They change the topics all the time. Like I said, how avalanches work.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just knew that from you picking me up to us getting to the restaurant, I learned about like 20 decades. I mean, 4 decades worth of weed
Weed
history.
discussion. Here's the paleo diet. That was another topic of theirs,
Paleo diet.
and we've talked about that. I discussed it to you. See, the thing is, I listen to this podcast, then I discuss it with everyone else to make it seem like I'm smart and I know this stuff. So I'm thinking when I do this presentation coming up, 5 minutes, I can maybe just pick some random thing that
Yeah, you were
and just study it.
talking about gypsies, the Romany.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. How gypsies work. I broke that up on you. I was trying to sound smart. Like, hey, you know the gypsies aren't really known as gypsies.
And I was like, oh, you mean the Romany?
I'm like, damn it.
You just happened to pick a topic I actually knew.
I know.
I knew enough to get by on.
So yeah, that's that. But yeah, let's get back to the ethics thing. The other
there's more
thing.
to it. Okay.
No, because we never talked about ethics on the podcast.
Okay.
We always talk about it on in the car or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I brought it up on you because during this training session, one of the topics was about ethics. How would you describe ethics or define ethics?
How would you define ethics?
Because
it's the code of behavior that you have subscribed to in order to something like that. I mean,
Google says ethics is moral principles that govern a person or group's behavior.
Okay.
Or a branch of knowledge that deals with moral principles.
Gotcha.
Sometimes known as philosophical ethics or ethic theory. I'm not gonna get into that. Basically, you know, what's right.
Yeah.
What's good behavior.
Okay.
And then you know we're talking about work things like is it wrong to call in sick if
you're not sick?
If you're not really sick? I mean, you know, and then all the people are like, no, it's not wrong. Sometimes you have to prepare yourself mentally. I'm like, no, don't be sticking me with all this work because you're mentally sick. I don't know.
I don't think it's wrong. Well,
I didn't say this in the training session. I just sat there quiet.
In my old job, they stopped calling them sick days. They call them sick personal days. So like,
yeah, we have personal days.
So like, if you have like one of those days where you just can't do it or something, you're allowed to do that. I mean, it's rough on everybody else, but if that's what you have to do. And I know what you're saying. Your job is different because
someone's got to do the work.
Right.
If you're not there, I've got to do the work.
In my old job, it wasn't like that. Like, you know, it wasn't like, okay, this person's gone, so you know this person actually has to cut. Well, to a degree, it's not like that. It wasn't as it wasn't like a machine. Like if one guy wasn't there to service his client, okay, that he wasn't there for that one day. You know, as long as there wasn't a deadline, it wasn't a big deal. That's how it worked. But for your job, it's a little bit different. So you know, it's hard to do that. Like with my job now, I'm more like you, where if one person calls out, then another person has to cover, and that is that's messed up. If you you know. If it happens like once in a while, once in a blue moon, I mean, you know, that's one of the things that happens.
Yeah, that's fine. Once a year.
But if you're
don't be doing this crap every week.
Yeah, I'll get that every week. That's not cool.
But let's see, another ethics thing. We talked about this one. This one we didn't talk about in class, but we talked about it. The story about these three, I guess they were like college-age kids who were renting an apartment and went to a thrift shop and bought a couch.
Yeah.
A couple weeks they were on the couch, you know, sleeping on it and sitting on it, and they were like, yo, it's a little lumpy. They open up the cushions, find out there's $40,000 in it.
Right.
And we were like, what do you do? And immediately I'm like, yo, what am I going to buy? I'm going to pay off everything, put a down payment on a car. You know, that kind of thing. These three kids, they actually
researched.
Yeah, they did some research, found out who the couch belonged to, and then returned the money. So what? I mean, I told you what happens with these three kids. And
yeah.
Actually, I'll go with it because. Well, what would you do if you found $40,000 first?
I would do a little research, but I would do it as discreetly as possible.
You do a little search, like where did this couch come from? Well, I don't know. Money's mine.
I'm not like, hey, I found this couch full of $40,000 worth.
Have you ever found money before? Like $1 or 5 or 10?
20, yeah, something like that.
Where?
Just on the street or something.
Have you ever looked around and say, hey, did anyone lose a 20?
Well, when I found it, there was no one around, so it's like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Look, no one's around mine.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, I'm not gonna go door to door. Hey, I found this 20. Is this for 20 or something?
This reminds me of an old Little Rascals cartoon. You remember that one? Old Little Rascals.
Vaguely.
There was an episode where this lady, she's outside, and she opens up her purse, and $5 flies out, and this is Little Rascals. So we're talking 1940s, 1950s. I think it's set in 1920s.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know who the Little Rascals are.
It don't matter.
Okay.
So it's this old TV show, black and white. So the lady opens up her bag, $5 flies out, and like I said, this is like 1920s or 1940s. So we're talking about what would be like $50 to us.
Yeah.
So the money's flying around, and this kid Mickey finds it on the ground, and he's like, "Yeah, $5, it's mine." He starts walking away. The lady sees him and says, "Hey, that's my money." And all of a sudden, we're on this long chase. He's running. That's basically how the Little Rascals. The whole episode's he's running away from the woman. He's running to someone's backyard. He's running into pools. I don't remember what happens.
Yeah.
It's one of those funny things.
Right.
He'll run one way. The lady runs another way. They crisscross. He also has this dog. Petey.
I didn't even hesitate. Petey, the dog.
So he has this dog. The dog's joining him in this chase. All around the city and everything. All of a sudden, Petey gets caught by the dog catcher, dog pound. For some reason, he was always getting caught by the dog pound. So all of a sudden, the dog catcher takes Petey and puts him in the dog pound car. And Mickey is sad, like, oh, there's my dog. And at this time, the lady catches up with Mickey and grabs the $5. Like, this is my $5. But Mickey don't care. His dog got taken away. He's sad. Right. So he's got this ugly look on his face, like, oh, I'm sad. Lady sees it and says, you know what? Here's $5, Mr. Dog Catcher. And he lets the dog free, and everyone's happy.
That was like today's, what, $100?
Yeah. But still, that's what happened.
Yeah, those are the days. You could buy, like, good stuff with 1 cent and 5 cents back in those days. $5, crap.
Yeah, so basically the dog got caught. She paid for the dog to be free.
I kind of remember that episode. I'm just surprised you remember it so... I mean, I know you got some of the details a little bit hazy, but way more than I remember. I only remember the 1, 2, 3 Go Club. That's the one I remember. Didn't
someone get hit by a car?
Yeah.
And then they had to start this club that says, look both ways. Say,
1, 2, 3, go. And then Spanky made a big speech about, like, because he was so stupid that he crossed without looking. I'm like, that's kind of harsh, Spanky. But Mickey was. I think it was Mickey that got hit.
Yeah, I think it was Mickey.
I don't know. I think he was like on a wheelchair or something, or he was hurt when they were making the speech, and they had a big crowd. It was all
know. By the end of the episode, like 100 kids are saying 1, 2, 3, go and crossing the street.
These women and the whole town was like impressed by this movement, which is like the most basic thing to teach you when you're a little kid about how to cross this dang street. Look both ways and then before you cross.
Wait, I found $1 once in the supermarket, and I saw who dropped it. There were these 2 kids, a teenage kid and his little brother.
Yeah.
And I grabbed it, put it in my pocket, said it's mine. Didn't say nothing to them. And 5 minutes later, I saw them looking around everywhere because they couldn't afford to pay for something.
Oh man.
I'm like, yo, mine. End of story. But I do think about this. This was like 20 years ago when this happened. To this day, I still think maybe I should have gave the money back.
I think you should have.
If I did give the money back, it probably wouldn't haunt me like it does today. These kids couldn't buy the cooking oil or something that day.
And they couldn't make the cake for their father who had been coming back from being gone for like 20 years, and that would have warmed his heart. Instead of he was mad at them and became verbally abusive, and that caused a rift in their family that's continuing to this day.
Yeah, my fault. My bad. Sorry, guys. I think I bought some candy with that. So.
That would be awesome. They were a listener, like, oh, that was a boogie.
Whatever. They're probably rich today.
If they can't afford stuff for like, if they lost that and they can't afford to buy stuff, I think there's a good chance they're not.
Maybe they would have Maybe they would have wasted it on drugs later on. Maybe I don't know.
You sound like those elite, oh, we can't give them money, they'll waste it on drugs. And I know that's the opposite of what your political views are, so I'm like, so you just go in that place when it comes to money.
But back to the story about these 3 college kids who found $40,000 in their couch.
Yeah.
They went to the thrift shop where they bought the couch. The thrift shop sort of steered them in a way. Basically, they did some research and found out the couch belonged to a old elderly woman who was just hospitalized and whatever. So they go to this woman's house and they decide, hey, we're gonna give the money back. They ring the doorbell. A little kid answers the door, and the little kid's mom. And it turns out the couch belonged to the little kid's grandmother, whose husband had just died. So the husband had been keeping their life savings like in the couch for when he dies, that his wife can live off of his life savings. And the thing is, the grandmother had gone to the hospital, and with problems. She's old, so while she was in the hospital, they told her, she's gonna have to stay in a bed in the house. So the kids sold the couch and bought a bed to keep the grandmother in, not knowing that they were hiding $40,000 in the couch. Mm. But the fact that these 3 college kids went back and gave them the $40,000 back, now the grandmother can, live better off of it. So, in fact, the grandmother, she had actually gone back to work to help raise some of that $40,000, in her old age, because they knew that the grandfather was going to die or something. And then now I'm like, that is like the nicest story.
But if it would have been you,
I'm glad it wasn't. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm glad it wasn't me. I wish I could find $40,000, but I'm glad they did the right thing because it came out to be a happy ending. I mean, I always hate to hear, about like old people losing money or whatever,
right?
Or bad stuff happening to old people. It's always good to hear about good stuff happening to good people. Like I said, I don't know if I would have done that. I probably would have kept it, and I don't know. I guess that's why they call it ethics, or.
You needed a course to teach you that.
There was other stuff they talked about. I don't remember half of it. I didn't care. I know my own ethics.
Like taking credit for a course that you didn't really pay attention to.
I mean, I didn't know I was gonna talk about it, so I didn't like read up on it, but. But ever since I heard this story, I've been trying to do more of the right things. In my head, I'm trying to do the right thing.
Okay.
I mean, if something pops up, I'm gonna do the right thing this time. Well, not even the right thing. I'm gonna go the extra effort to do something better. Because keeping the money isn't the wrong thing, is it? If they had kept the money, is it wrong? They bought the couch, had money in it, is theirs. Is it wrong?
It's not wrong per se, but it's
no, it's not wrong. They bought the couch; it's theirs.
It's a good thing that they went back and did the research and tracked them down.
Yeah.
So
it would have been wrong if they had kept the money.
It would be like the bare minimum. Okay, you're just.
I mean, $40,000 would help us a lot, though. I mean,
yeah.
You can always say, "Hey, someone had a plan and gave us $40,000 in our couch." You always hear that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, I can't go away from his plan and give it to someone else.
See, just how you were haunted by that $5.
I know.
I think I couldn't deal with $40,000.
Like I said, 20 years I found $1, and I'm still wondering if I should have gave it back.
Yeah.
$40,000 though. But when I first heard they found $40,000 on the couch though, I thought it was like drug money all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that pops in your head. Like, it's some druggie. That's my money now.
Which is why I would do the research discreetly, just in case.
It'd be hard to give it up though. It would be hard. I don't know if I could. I don't know. I mean, I would like to say I would now. Like I said, after hearing what those kids did a good thing and everything turned out good for everybody. I mean, they did a good deed.
I actually think you probably would have.
I don't know.
I know. I think you probably.
There's probably things I've done and I've never told anybody.
I was giving you this like benefit of the doubt, like, oh, he's a guy that says he's gonna do the wrong thing, but he has a heart of gold. But now you just gotta like make me wonder about that whole premise, that whole possibility.
Remember we were in a restaurant?
Oh God, what?
A few years ago.
Okay, you got.
We were in a restaurant.
Uh-huh.
A bunch of us,
Oh,
and this
God.
dude loses his ring, gold ring.
What? You didn't.
No.
Okay.
He loses his gold ring.
Yeah.
He was talking with hand gestures, and it flew off his finger, and he says landed near our table somewhere.
Yeah.
So we all had to get up, look around and stuff.
We're talking about like a class ring or something like that. Something really.
Yeah, this dude's ring.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, if I find it, I'm keeping it. I didn't find it.
Okay.
But at the time, I was thinking, because he looked for it, he started crying and
He
everything.
was really upset.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of embarrassingly upset
Yeah.
for an adult.
Yeah.
I've seen kids with more composure about that kind of stuff, but
I know. But they didn't seem poor or anything.
I mean, if it's your class ring,
I know.
that's
It's sentimental value.
Yeah.
Sentimental
But still,
value.
I wouldn't have broke down like that. I would have been pissed. But
But I'll admit, I was looking. I'm like, yo.
I think we all. Oh.
I know. But I was looking for a different reason. I'm like, yo, there's money on the ground. I ain't finding it.
Oh boy. We still don't know what to this day. I mean, did it get flung into a
Or
light
do we? I don't know.
a light fixture or something? I don't know.
I'm telling you, someone found it. Someone
sure.
had to have found it and pocketed it. It wasn't me though.
I mean, something that big when it would make impact, unless
Unless it landed in someone's food or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, look what I found. Gold ring in my
It
pocket.
would have to land in something fabric to muffle the sound. That's all I could think of, like someone's coat or like they're like one in a million shot into someone's pocket or something like that, or in someone's pant cuff or whatever. I don't know. The collar, someone's wearing a hoodie, that kind of thing. But
Yeah, it was in someone's hood. And that was fun. That'd be funny. It probably was. It probably did.
yeah.
I mean, I remember what I was wearing that day, and it wasn't a hoodie, but because I checked my hood. But I remember thinking, yo, if I find that ring, I'm hawking that bitch. I didn't find it though. I'm
Okay.
honestly saying I didn't find it.
Okay.
I want you thinking.
Yeah, that thing that incident is so memorable, not because he lost the ring, but because of that guy's reaction.
Yeah, and we all got up and looked for it. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, someone found it. Someone found it and didn't say nothing because we searched.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like you can't just.
Yeah.
It had to show up somewhere. But I'm doing the right thing now. I'm just telling you that. My ways have changed.
Not trying to be skeptical, but we'll see how long this lasts.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to think of another situation where ethics would be involved, but I can't get my mind past money now. Do you know of any? Well, give me an ethical situation.
Let me do the commandments here. I'm going to do. Well, that's the basic sin. So let's see, ethically.
Let me look up something. Let's see. Let's find an ethical dilemma. Oh, okay. Did you see the movie Gone Baby Gone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. The ending of that movie.
That's like a really extreme.
We're spoiling this movie for people who've never seen Gone Baby Gone, but it's also like a 10-year-old movie.
Is it 10 years old already?
Probably.
Good God.
It's not 10-year-old. It's close.
God. Really good movie.
Good movie. There's this.
Oh, so if you do intend to see the movie, I don't know.
Turn it off now.
Yeah.
If you don't care.
Keep listening.
Yeah. Basically, there's a kid who gets kidnapped. No, not kidnapped. Oh yeah, kidnapped.
Kidnapped.
That's
yeah.
the name of the movie is Gone Baby Gone.
The baby is gone. Okay.
Well, okay, basically, the baby's kidnapped by a well-to-do family. They kidnap. Well,
Yeah, you're kind of you jumped really quick. I mean,
I know I'm just.
I'm saying okay, the baby is kidnapped, but the mother was like kind of.
Yeah, no,
iffy.
I'm getting to that. The mother is a druggie.
Yeah.
Drug addict. Who loves the baby though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do anything bad to the baby. But she's a drug addict. Poor, needs help. Not the greatest person in the world, but loves the kid. The family that took the baby, very well-to-do, rich.
Really wanted the baby.
Yeah, and they wanted a baby also, but they stole the kid. But the baby, it's a baby. So by the time the baby grows up, I mean they don't want the baby. Well, I don't know how to explain it right. But basically, someone has the baby and is like, who should get the baby? Who should I give it back to, the rightful mother, or give it to the people who give it a good life?
The better life.
The better life.
Way better life.
Yeah. And that was the ethical dilemma. Does the kid go to the mother who, yeah, she's a drug addict.
She loved the kid, but she wasn't.
But she loved the kid.
She wasn't always the best mother either.
No. She wasn't the best mother, but she never did it. She didn't really do anything bad to the baby. She didn't
abuse it or.
She didn't do any reason for them to take the baby away.
Right.
She was
I forgot who took it and why
Like,
it would happen,
yeah.
but that's
like if a social worker came by, she had all her everything in check. She's just a drug addict and she didn't have money.
Right.
And then the other family, they have a lot of money. So.
Okay.
And the kid probably would have a really good life growing up and maybe good school, go to college, all that. And the druggie, they're probably stuck in a situation where they're probably going to bring up the kid, and maybe they're in a cycle of bad stuff happening, doing bad things.
Right.
And then giving the baby away would break that cycle, kind of thing. And that was an ethical dilemma.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to spoil the movie anymore. That was the dilemma. I mean, I'm not going to say what they did.
All right, so not saying what did happen. What do you think should have happened?
I don't know. That's why I like that. I kept telling you about this so we could have this conversation. I told you about this like a long time ago, and you never watched the movie. I'm like, you gotta watch the movie.
I did watch the movie.
I know. Eventually, like years later.
And we did have the discussion.
I know, and I don't remember what I said.
Well, I'm sorry, we did have the discussion. It's not like I didn't watch the movie.
I know.
Obviously, I watched the movie, although I've forgotten a lot of it since the last time I watched it. I didn't know it was 10 years old either. But
it's up there.
Okay.
Let me look that up, because who do you think the baby should go to?
The mom.
The druggy mom.
Well, I mean, not just because of. I mean, when you look at the one baby, I'm sure that she could have had a better life. I forgot if it was a boy or girl anyway, but it would have had a better life with the rich family. But when you look at it as a whole. So what you're saying is, any parent, like, we can look at some parent and say, oh, this person would do better. They should take their child away. I mean, that becomes people. I mean, that's a basic thing that you keep your own children. So if you're just because someone else makes a judgment about the family about the mother, that the kid can just be taken away. I mean, I understand when people say the ends. This is basically an ends justifying the means type dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it does justify the means. So I mean, sure, the kid could have lived the best life ever, but you just don't do that. You don't take kids away from their parents based on just someone saying, oh, like say someone thought like, I'm just gonna go extreme on it now. Don't jump on me for it. But like, hey, these immigrants from wherever, they don't have money, they don't speak English, their prospects aren't good. So let's say this other more affluent family can just take that kid. It's fine because they can give the kid a better life. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm trying to come up with a good example. It's probably not the best one, but you know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, we're skipping a lot with this movie also.
Because we don't want to give everything away.
I mean, it's not. I'm not advocating rich people start stealing kids.
But to me, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, that's what happened. So it was wrong.
Yeah.
But they did it. Do you right the wrong?
I think you had to.
Because
that's in my opinion.
Yeah.
You had to.
So you're giving the baby back to the druggy mom.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was going back and forth. I don't know. I still don't know.
Yeah.
That's what made the
I
decision.
didn't waver. I mean, after I made my decision, I was like, yeah, it has to go back to the mom. Just
I mean, yeah, that's probably where I would lean to,
yeah.
especially nowadays that I'm into this good ethics thing.
Now that I'm educated, according to the ethics.
Well, there was something I did last week, and y'all were like, "Yo, you're supposed to be doing good ethics now."
Yeah, I
What
know.
was that?
And I was like, yeah, I guess that course wore off on you.
I don't remember. I remember saying it too.
Yeah, I don't remember what
It
it was.
was oh, what was that? Um, I remember saying it too.
I know. I just remember us getting all ragged on you for it, but I forget what it was. Anyways.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I was probably wrong anyways. This movie was in 2007, so it's 7 years old.
Okay. Still pretty up there.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, trying to be good with the ethics now, trying to do the right thing. I'm gonna drop one on you.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop one on you. Um, Actually, never mind.
Okay.
I'm reading a
I was
chart.
getting all ethical and like in my.
I'm reading a chart about ethics and all that. These are all like business law and all this stuff. I'm not going to give you. And there's another one, physician dilemmas. Let me find a general one where you're an emergency worker that has just been called to the scene of an accident. When you arrive, you see the car belongs to your wife. Fearing the worst, you rush over to see if she's trapped in her car with another man. She sees you and she's barely conscious. She says, "I'm sorry."
Okay.
You don't understand, but her look answers you. The person who wrote this can't write. You don't understand, but her look answers your question. The man next to her is her lover.
Mm-hmm.
She's been having an affair.
Right.
So basically, you're an ambulance dude. You find out that your wife was just in an accident with the dude she's having an affair with. You could see the boyfriend. He's bleeding with a wound to the neck, and you can stop it. Of course, you stop it. Wait.
This is really dark.
Oh no, wait. Or do you take the time to save your wife who may die?
Wait, what?
Wait.
I missed something there.
You look to the seat next to her and see her lover. He's bleeding heavily from a wound to the neck, and you need to stem the flow of blood immediately.
Okay.
It will only take 5 minutes to stop, but it will mean your wife will definitely die. If you tend to your wife, however, the man will bleed to death despite the fact that it could have been avoided.
So let's just pick one or the other.
Yeah, you pick your wife.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one. Let me find a better one. That was just the first one I saw. That was the first one I saw. And a lot of these are long, so I'm trying not to read long ones. Here's one, the short one. A madman who has threatened to explode several bombs in crowded areas has been apprehended.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he has already planted the bombs and they are scheduled to go off in a short time. It is possible that hundreds of people may die. This is Batman!
I know. I was like,
it is possible that hundreds of people may die.
Yeah.
The authorities cannot make him divulge the location of the bombs by conventional methods. He refuses to say anything and requests a lawyer to protect his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination. In exasperation, some high-level officials suggest torture. Ooh, that's different. This would be illegal.
This is 24.
Yeah, this would be illegal, but the official thinks it is nevertheless the right thing to do in this desperate situation. What do? Do you justifiably agree to torture the mad bomber? Oh no, do you torture the mad bomber's wife? That's what they're saying.
The mad bomber's wife.
Where did the wife come into this thing? The person who wrote these things sucks.
That's terrible. I mean,
in exasperation, some high-level official suggests torture. This would be illegal, but the official thinks it is nevertheless the right thing to do in this desperate situation. So basically, they're saying, "Yo, they forgot to say torture the wife," because at the end it says, "Is it justifiable to torture the mad bomber's wife?"
Because they can't get to the mad bomber because they're already in custody.
So yeah, do you torture the wife?
I would torture the mad bomber.
To save.
It's funny because I just said the ends don't justify the means, but like when it comes to life and death, I would say
I mean, they talk about this like in
this is 24
yeah.
basically.
There's the movie Zero Dark 30 also.
I didn't see Zero Dark 30.
Well, Zero Dark 30, they're waterboarding people,
Uh-huh.
and then they're like, "Yo, it's illegal now." But waterboarding has been working to get these terrorists to do reveal stuff.
Okay.
But they passed a law and said, "Yo, we can't waterboard no more," and everyone's like, "Oh, come on, this was working." But this one's different. This one's saying, "Yo, do you put a gun to this lady hit the dude's wife who's innocent, and tell him, yo, don't set it off, or
Yeah.
because that way, hundreds of people
They
will
did
live."
they did similar stuff like more than once on 24, but what they ended up doing was like Jack Bauer would make it look like he was torturing him, but didn't really do it. No, this is actually doing it. I mean, I'm not thinking I'm taking a moral compass from 24, but I mean, if you're gonna say, could you torture the guy that hit the bomber, and he's like,
That's different. That's different.
yeah, I would torture the bomber, no
Hell
problem.
yeah.
No problem.
I mean,
it would be,
I know water.
It would be what do you call it? Messing up his rights, but you just take the consequences of that to save the people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm like, yo, put me in jail. I'm gonna save all these hundreds of people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break the law to
right,
save lives.
right. Yeah.
I would do that. I would easily save lives.
But you're talking about torturing his wife.
Who's innocent? That's different. Or a kid. Let's say they had a kid.
Oh, she make it even worse.
Yeah, because the wife's sort of easy too. Because
You would torture the wife if she's innocent. She had no knowledge of what he was doing, just to get to him to save the hundreds of people.
yeah, but you'd say torture a kid though. That's different.
I'm saying I don't even think.
Yeah, you wouldn't even torture the wife. I would maybe torture the wife. Doing a kid though, but the kid, I don't know.
There's more chance I would torture the wife than the kid too.
Yeah, you do a kid, the bomber.
There's less chance of me doing either one than apparently for you. But
like, yo, if you blow it up, I'm gonna slash your kid's throat.
That sentence by itself is just dark as hell.
But yo, it would work.
Yeah.
It would
But
work.
see, the problem with that,
because I have seen. I wish I could remember the movie where they're like, yo, the same situation. Like, yo, we're gonna take your wife or something, and he's like, yo, I don't care. I'm doing this for us. So, but you do a kid, the kid.
Uh-huh.
Because
even if you did something like that, you have to do something small before that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you threaten to slash a kid's throat before he would believe you, you would actually have to do something like slice the kid a little bit.
Yeah, put the knife in there a little bit.
Or cut a finger off or something.
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna make this threat,
yeah, he'll be like, yo, you're bluffing.
Yeah, you'd have to.
You're bluffing.
You'd have to prove that you're serious.
Yeah, you'd have to hit the kid.
Or something.
Hit it with the.
But that by itself would be like I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a movie where it's happened.
Now, if it was like like you had relatives or like really close people at the bomb sites, then that's something different too. But that's just upping the stakes a little bit. But anyway, I don't know. That is a really really big dilemma.
Ethics.
Yeah. Ethics. It's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Ethics.
So yeah, we're basically we don't know what we would do. It's a good thing. It's a good thing we're not in those situations.
Yeah.
The money thing's a different story.
Yeah, money's different. When you talk about
saving lives,
life and death, and hurting people.
Man, I've told you, I
and then I
don't like saving lives. Because
I'm not gonna go over some of the stuff. Cause
I changed my ways.
Okay.
I've changed my ways.
Like you would donate like some bone marrow.
I've changed my ways.
Anyways.
Are we done?
Sure.
Let's do a Tagalog word of the day.
All right. Well, this is the part of the podcast where we try to educate people on the beauty of the Filipino language. But since neither Boogie or I are actual native speakers, there's a chance that we might not get some aspect of the word or phrase exactly correct, like the pronunciation, the enunciation, the somethingation, the definition, just a little bit off. So if we do make a mistake, which is entirely possible, please feel free to let us know, but don't make us feel bad because, after all, we are just trying, and we're just trying to put it out there so people at least get a taste of, the beauty that is Filipino. So, Boogie, do you happen to have a word?
I'm thinking. Do you have a word?
No, it takes me a while.
I know we have 300 some words, and I think you've come up with one.
No, I've had I had like 4. Ethically, I want to be honest. I'm not gonna. Maybe 6.
No, you didn't have. You didn't have more than 5.
Earlier,
I remember one word. Kalat. That was yours.
No, I'm thinking over the course of the last.
I know.
We're almost at the 9 years.
Yeah.
I've done more than 4.
All I could think of is kalat. That's the only word you've come up with.
I know I've done more than that. And
you can't think of another word you've done.
There have been other ones. No, but there have been times when I've said the word and you're like, no, we're not doing that. So I count those because you've done that you've done that more than once where I said a word.
Yeah, you would do a word like let me see. It's something that's like English already.
No, I know, but other words and you're like, no, we're not gonna go that way. And I'm like, well, then I still count that.
I know, then you give up.
No, I'm saying if I say a word and it took me a while to get that one word, and you say no, we're not going that way, I'm like, okay, that's fine. But to me, that still counts as me putting a word out there. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying you put up more than 5. Okay, even the ones I've crossed out. I said no.
You don't realize how many you crossed out.
Not more than 10?
I didn't say 10. I said like...
How many words have we had? 370? let's say I've crossed out 10.
Okay, we spent 9 years, and we say we did 50 weeks. We skipped maybe 6 weeks a year. So
we have 370 episodes.
Okay.
There's 370 episodes. I've given maybe 350 of those words.
I'm not disputing that.
Maybe 360 of those words.
I'm not disputing that.
It'd be nice if you came up with a word. But this week, our word is too long. Too long.
Too long.
Too long. Not too long.
Too long.
Too long.
Too long.
Too long, which means help.
Oh, that's help?
Yeah. Too long. Tulong.
Too long.
You can't say too long because it's different. It's
too long.
Too long.
Too long.
I know you want to say too long.
I didn't say it. The entire time we've been doing this, too long, too long.
Too long.
Too long.
Tulong. I wish I can use it in a sentence though. Tulong ang bata. Tulong na ng bata sa eskwela.
So you help the kid with school.
Tulong kami.
The damsel in distress. I don't know. I put like English in the back of it because I can't think of the rest of it.
Tulong ang Sini-Gang. Merong pera. I don't know. But let's make too long our word of the day. Too long.
Too long.
Needs the help.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, I think I'm good.
Make sure you visit our website, www.cine-gang.com.
Or email us at thesinigang@gmail.com.
Follow us on Twitter at The Sini-Gang.
Find us on Facebook on facebook.com/thesinigang. So until next time, this is Sterno Supernova.
And this is El Boogie, the Elemental One, saying thanks for listening and
see you now. Okay, so that's the end of the podcast recording session. Thanks for anybody that happens to watch this video. Take it easy.